Am I the asshole for not wanting to babysit my sister's kids? My sister and her husband both work one female shift, after a recent shift change due to her kids misbehaving. They make too much money to get subsidized childcare, but too little to afford childcare for their children. So that leaves me. I work night shift so I'm free during the day, so I have them. I agreed to watch them until 3, which is when she gets off work, but so far, she hasn't gotten off at 3 even once. Every day I get a call saying, they need to keep me another hour, 2 hours. It takes 30 minutes for her to drive home, and I have to be clocked in by 5 at my job. And I'm supposed to be going back to college, but as long as I have the kids, I can't. I love my niece and nephews, but I cannot handle them anymore. I'm not their mom, and I'm not being paid to watch them, but it feels shitty to tell my sister that I straight up can't do it anymore. I am exhausted, I have no idea what I'm doing, and never having a day off is wearing on me. I don't have time to do things for me. I can't date, I don't have time to eat, I can't hang out with friends. My me time is literally after work when I go to bed. I'm at my wit's end. I understand childcare is expensive and hard to find, which makes me feel worse about this, but I just can't anymore. I'm afraid she will also use my unwillingness to be her babysitter as a reason to not continue teaching me how to drive. As long as I can't drive, I can't go back to college, so why can't I babysit? I'm losing my mind, and so is my sister. Edit. Thank you all for weighing in on this. It's going to be hard for me to come to grips with the fact that I am not an asshole, because I also don't think my sister is an asshole either. What I am coming to realize more and more is that wages need to raise to meet cost of living expenses, including childcare. When I was a kid, my single father could afford to send his 3 kids to daycare on just his salary without even $1 in child support. That's just not possible with the wages my sister makes. Even with what her husband makes added to it, daycare would be almost $2,000 a month for all 3 in our town. What I have learned from this is that I don't think I want kids anymore, and I used to want nothing more than to be a mom. What makes the whole situation harder is that we were abused growing up, so we don't trust anyone around her kids. She knows no matter how much I'm struggling, I'm not going to harm her kids. I agree being a free daycare is too much to ask, but I don't mind babysitting for free every so often. It wouldn't have been a problem if she could get off at the right time so I could nap or eat before going to my real job, and she knew I was going to put my foot down when it came time for me to go to college. I think she just thought that would be another 4 years when the youngest would be in kindergarten. If the 3 o'clock thing was solved, the only problem left is the fact that I don't know what I'm doing. I'm great with little babies. I have no idea how to care for them once they get older like my sister's 3 are, outside of making sure they are fed and clean. I don't know what to do with the 1-year-old who cries if I hold him, screams if I put him down with his toys, refuses to eat, but isn't tired because he just had a nap. I think they are bored, but I don't know how to fix that. So I deal with a lot of whining and crying, which is what is really getting to me. My sister somehow knows what they want by each individual whine, but I can't figure it out. I feel like I'm failing. Failing my sister, failing the kids, failing as an auntie. Also, I'm not losing sleep. I sleep when I'm not working. I'm just either at work or babysitting during the hours I can do things with my friends. Ultimately, I'm being selfish, wanting my off-awake time to be for me, which I would never tell anyone else they were selfish for wanting that time. So why am I telling myself that? If it were only a few days it wouldn't even be a problem, it's that it's 5 days a week and set so that I literally don't have an off day. Days I'm not working, I'm babysitting, days I'm not babysitting, I'm working. Another edit. On the phone with my sister. She makes $1,200 every 2 weeks, after taxes and after having health insurance taken out. Her husband gets paid less, but I don't have those figures. But they somehow still make too much to qualify for assistance. I think the people who make those guidelines are severely out of touch with what things actually cost. Not the asshole. So that leaves me. No, it really doesn't. Not the asshole. Sounds like your sister is keeping you hostage in a way by holding driving over your head. These are her children and therefore her responsibility. It shouldn't be up to you to make these sacrifices. If the one thing holding you back is driving lessons, I'm sure you could find someone else who is willing to teach you. Not the asshole. Driving should not be leverage, so do not let it be. You don't need your sister to learn to drive. Ask a friend or a friend's parent. Barter something in exchange for driving lessons. You work, so hire someone to teach you. Or see if the local college has driving lessons as part of their non-college credit program. You could also take public transportation. All of the above aside, quit the babysitting. They are taking advantage of you by not paying you, not sticking to the agreed schedules, and not respecting that you have a right to work, get an education, have friends, eat and sleep. You have a right to a life. It is time to quit. Not the asshole. Childcare is a lot more expensive than driving lessons. She doesn't have much leverage here and clearly has been violating the original agreement, until 3 p.m. every day since day one. It's perfectly reasonable and honestly expected that you cannot sustain this long term. Talk to your sister. Can she not get other childcare for at least a couple of days a week to give you a break? Also wait. They both work first shift after a recent shift change due to her kids misbehaving. Does this mean that she switched shifts to avoid dealing with the kids misbehaving? Not the asshole. You are being taken advantage of. NTA. They aren't your kids. You did a lot already just watching them after night shift. They need to figure it out. Not the asshole. You are not obligated to be a full-time babysitter. You are burning out and need to take some time for yourself. They can figure it out. Not the asshole. Those are her children, her responsibility, not yours. It took me a while to set these boundaries with my sister and moved on. The kids always stayed in touch, but my sister and I don't speak. Yes, I'm there for emergencies but not on a regular basis. If you wanted kids you will have them. For now tell her you can't. If she stopped teaching you how to drive, pay for lessons from a driving school. You always have options. Maybe her and her husband need to switch shifts to accommodate their childcare needs. But you have a life to live and she's not holding up her part of the agreement. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend's parents that she has an eating disorder? My girlfriend, 16F, is an absolutely beautiful person. Her skin is flawless, her hair is perfect, and she always looks gorgeous no matter what she's wearing. Most importantly, she's one of the kindest people I've, 17M, ever met, and in spite of her looks, she's incredibly humble and sincere. On the other hand, I'm extremely bookish and introverted. I nearly collapsed when I first asked her out. So, I'm shocked that she'd want to be with someone like me. We've been dating for a few months, and during that time, she's lost quite a bit of weight. She used to be much fuller, but now, she looks considerably thinner, especially in the face. She's not gaunt or anything, but she's definitely underweight. For a while, I thought she simply wasn't eating much. She's a teen model, so I assumed this was just par for the course. So, whenever we were together, I'd try to get her to eat more, always offering to pay. Recently, I went to pick her up so that we could go to the mall. Her parents weren't home that day, and she texted me to say that the door was unlocked and that I could come in whenever I arrived. When I walked in, I saw her in the kitchen. She was wearing a bikini and leaning over the sink. She clearly hadn't seen or heard me walking in because she was pushing the bottom of her toothbrush down her throat and vomiting her guts out. Naturally, I ran over to make sure she was okay. After a few seconds, she threw her arms around me and begged me not to tell her parents. Then, she told me all about how she'd been doing the toothbrush thing for a while but claimed that she was getting it under control. I don't know why she was wearing the bikini, but I think it may have had something to do with trying to convince herself that she was getting thinner. I asked her if she was doing this because of the modeling thing, and she said she'd been doing it before then, too. I insisted that she looked perfect and that everybody considered her insanely pretty. I told her that all the guys I knew were constantly talking about how beautiful she was. She said that it had nothing to do with any of that and that she was doing this for herself. I told her that she needed to stop purging and said that I'd do everything I could to help her overcome her issues with food. And I gave her a hug, peppered her forehead and cheeks with kisses, and gave her a glass of water. A few nights ago, I decided to tell her parents. They must have talked to her when she got home, because the next time I saw her, she told me I was a terrible boyfriend, a liar, and a phony, and said that I'd embarrassed her. She said that, because of me, her parents were acting like she was a mental patient, and a time bomb, and making her go to a program. And that's when she took off the necklace I'd bought her for her birthday last month and threw it on the ground. She hasn't responded to any of my texts. Am I the asshole? Update. My girlfriend called me about an hour ago and apologized for everything she said. She says she was upset because she was afraid that her parents would think less of her. But she now realizes that I did what I did because I love her. She says she felt awful about throwing her necklace and says she wants to come over tomorrow and just lie down in bed and cuddle with me. It was really sweet, so much so that I'm worried she's racked with guilt. Either way, I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm gonna be the most supportive boyfriend imaginable and be by her side no matter what happens. You guys have no idea how happy I am. I'm dating the best girl in the world right now. I love her so much, and I'm glad she feels like she can trust me and her parents. I can't wait to see her again. I can't wait to kiss her and hold her and stroke her hair and look her in the eye and tell her that she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. What an incredible day. I think I'm gonna cry. Lol. Not the asshole. If she's purging, then it's likely to be bulimia. You have done her a favor, although she won't see it that way for a while. No one who is confronted with an intervention is happy about it, whether it be for addiction, mental illness, or eating disorder. She is a child and she needs help. You've ensured she's going to get that help. It may be the end of your relationship, however, as she will see this as a betrayal. Nah. I know you genuinely want her to be healthy, so I hope you can understand what I am about to say. Her skin is flawless. Her hair is perfect. She always looks gorgeous. I insisted that she looked perfect. Everybody considered her insanely pretty. All the guys I knew were constantly talking about how beautiful she was. Though they come from a place of love, these aren't realistic and are such impossible expectations to meet. She isn't perfect, she isn't flawless. And no doubt, the pressure of having to live up to the pedestal you and others have placed her on is contributing to her condition. If you do reconcile, consider a different approach. One where you embrace her for who she truly is and how she truly looks, imperfect but beautiful. Not the asshole she's going to blame you, naturally. But I think you did the right thing. An eating disorder is a serious issue, especially as it has been going on a while. You two are too young, no offense, but you don't have the life experience to handle it. Your friends and girlfriend may disagree, but you were right to get her parents involved. It needs adult intervention so they can take her to a doctor. It was a very mature thing to do. Nah. What you did was without a doubt the right thing to do. Mental illness is an incredibly hard thing to come to terms with. People live years destroying their bodies and feeling ashamed for doing so. To have it brought to light on someone else's terms can be unbearable. She's angry at you and feels betrayed, but know that's it much deeper than that and she's lashing out. Give her time and space. Not the asshole. What she is doing is dangerous to her health and you were right to raise awareness over it. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that are very hard to handle correctly and often impossible to do so in a way that makes everyone happy in the short term. Not the asshole. She was purging with the door unlocked knowing you were coming over. She wanted someone to know she's not well. Not the asshole. I really must commend you as a teenage boy to put this girl's health before yourself. I'm sure you knew that at the very least this would cause a fight between the both of you, and you may possibly break up. But you put her health and well-being before your wants of being with essentially a model GF. Good on you, op, and I hope your girlfriend recognizes that you did it because you love and care for her. Not the asshole. Bulimia is an incredibly serious health condition that cannot be ignored or taken lightly. You absolutely did the right thing making her parents aware of this. You may have lost her trust, but there a good chance by doing what you did you may have saved her life. Am I the asshole for not staying with mother because of my future stepbrother? Throwaway just in case someone I know finds this. Hi Reddit. I'm really conflicted right now because I feel like a dick, but I also don't think I'm entirely unjustified here. My 17 male, mother's 38 female, fiancé, Larry, 40 male, moved in with her 3 months ago. They were dating for 3 years prior to the engagement, but I had not met him before, although he seems nice enough. Larry has children from his previous relationship, Jesse, 14 female, Kelly, 14 female, and Sam, 10 male. Sam has Asperger's and severe sensory issues. As my mother lives in a 3-bed bungalow, the twins have been given the spare bedroom and Sam has been given what was once my room as I only visit on the weekends. For the first weekend after they moved in, I had to share a room with Sam, but he needs to listen to music to sleep and will not wear headphones as he cannot stand the weight of them. He apparently struggled to sleep listening to me turn on the blow-up mattress, so since then I've had to sleep in the living room with the dogs, who start barking at 6 a.m. There's no curtains in the living room, so the street lamps outside shine onto my face, and it's next to the twins' bedroom, who are always playing music until 2–3 a.m. I also have to be up by 7:30 so Sam can watch cartoons with his breakfast or else he throws a tantrum. We all basically live by Sam's schedule and I no longer have fun weekend outings to the beach or the arcade with my mother as Sam doesn't like spontaneity. I know it's hard for everyone, but it's been 3 months and it's not getting any easier and I'm exhausted by Monday after barely sleeping every weekend. As I'm over 16, My parents have always allowed me to decide how often I spend with each of them, and I've requested to not stay over at my mother's anymore, as I'd prefer my bedroom at my father's to the blow-up mattress in her living room. My mother was clearly hurt by this and taken aback, apparently unaware that I hated the arrangement so much. I have no issue visiting on Saturdays, so I still see her, but I do not wish to sleep over. My mother has been trying to convince me to change my mind and not to throw our relationship away over one hurdle. I don't want her to feel as if I'm punishing her for something that isn't her or Larry's fault, or Sam's for that matter, but I also don't think I'm completely unjustified here, as nobody seems to be taking my feelings into account or how I would be affected by sacrificing my room, even if I am only there 2 days a week. Am I the asshole here, Reddit? ETA. Someone suggested I add this here. As part of Sam's routine, he requires everyone to eat together at the same time, and since I'm not always there, I have to eat alone in the living room. He also demands my mother always serves the food. ETA 2. As multiple people mentioned it, I have sent my mother an article about how enabling behavior now will lead to worse meltdowns in the future when they change Sam's routine, in hopes it helps. My mother and Larry have agreed not to parent each other's children, so I have to hope she will give him the info and he will start working on boundaries. ETA 3. More info I was recommended to add. Kelly is also sleeping on an air mattress as there is only one bed in the spare room. As a solution, my mother suggested either a new blanket or just getting used to it, while Larry considered cleaning out the shed but decided it would be too expensive to heat since they're saving for a wedding, honeymoon. Not the asshole. It's not Sam's fault, so he's not an asshole, but neither are you. The home is not large enough or laid out properly to accommodate the people living in it, and that's just how it is. You have every right to your sleep and comfort in a place that's supposed to be your home, just as Sam does. You haven't asked him to modify any of his behavior, you're adapting to what works for you. Your mom is an asshole for guilting you into staying. You still come see her and visit. You just leave for sleeping, and honestly there's nothing wrong with that. Not the asshole. You're not throwing your relationship away. You're trying to compromise by at least visiting but not sleeping over. Sleep is important, and you clearly can't get that at her place. It's not her fault, but there needs to be a workaround. Not the asshole. You are not punishing her, but she is definitely not thinking about you or your feelings. Why would a 17-year-old want to lose their room and be put through an obstacle course of hoops to jump through? She needs to realize she dropped the ball on this relationship, and it is on her to remedy it. Not the asshole. I'm so sorry you're going through this. If your mom continues to push, lay out your concerns in a clear, matter-of-fact way. Let her know that you love her and you're willing to work with her on a plan to address these concerns, but you're not willing to stay over until the issues are addressed. Not the asshole. Here's an idea. If she wants you to stay over so badly, she and her husband can give you their room for the nights you stay. That way you can sleep, and they can deal with their own child. Not the asshole. Day visits are okay. Not the asshole. Your mom gave your room to her husband's kids and completely displaced you. This is your mom's doing. They could have dealt with this situation with more grace and tact for all of you kids. Your mom and her husband have failed the kids in their merging of families. You do what makes you happy and healthy. You are a child and deserve room, privacy, sleep, and a healthy environment where your needs are considered. Not the asshole. It's frustrating when you have someone with a disability like that. The world stops and everyone has to cater to it. In the aftermath, nobody else has their needs met. I'm surprised you put up with it as long as you did. Would I be the asshole if I sabotaged my photo? There is a unique tradition in my family. Every girl has to wear a heart necklace in their senior year photos. The necklace belonged to my great-grandma. It's a big deal for some reason. The necklace gets passed around to relatives around the states, so that everyone gets a photo with the 50-year-old heirloom. I just finished my junior year of high school, which means the topic of wearing the necklace has come up recently. The issue? I am non-binary, and the thought of wearing the necklace makes me feel extremely dysphoric. I am not out to my family. The last time I mentioned being anything other than a girl, I was lectured about how changing my gender identity was a choice in only extreme cases, and, essentially, I was not allowed to make that choice. My mom already knew the topic of wearing the necklace would be sensitive. When I told her I'd rather not wear it, she became frustrated. She didn't understand why I wouldn't want to be a part of this tradition. Of course, due to the past history of the subject, I was not going to explain. I am not being given a choice. I was told I'd be wearing the necklace whether I liked it or not. I am so angry and frustrated. I don't understand why I have to be a part of this tradition, and why I don't even get the option. I don't have the same emotional connection to it, as I am not a girl nor did I ever know my grandma. I am genuinely stuck. If I don't wear the necklace, my mom will be angry and hold this grudge, and bring it up every time I mess up in the future. I am worried she will punish me for not wearing it, like taking away my phone or just making me feel guilty. If I do, the photo will be hung up in the house, and it'd have another horrible reminder of how my family sees me as a girl. I feel like I am making a huge deal out of nothing. I keep telling myself, it's just a necklace. But it's not. It's every photo where I have long hair, or where I am wearing a dress, or makeup. It's every photo I look feminine or just generally, not me. It's every painful twang that happens in my gut whenever I see how I used to look. I don't want the first time feel okay with myself to be ruined by one more damn photo. So, would I be the asshole if I just didn't wear the necklace? I keep trying to think of ways to sabotage the photo. I want to hide it under my shirt before I take pictures, or lose it somehow. Or, I'll glare and look angry in every picture. I am willing to ruin my final yearbook photo with obnoxious accessories, like giant duck earrings, a hat, obnoxious glasses. Something, I know it's immature and stubborn, but it is a significant other just a necklace. It won't be a big deal if one girl who isn't really a girl doesn't wear it. Edit, update. Many of you have suggested turning the charm into a brooch, or wearing it as something other than a necklace. I asked my mom and she said no. Her exact words were, if you were a trans male, that's something I would consider. Apparently being non-binary isn't enough, Sue_. She did say she would be okay with me wearing the tux cover though, so at least there is a small bit of a happy ending. Thank you all so much for your advice and your kind comments. I was reading this thread with my friends last night and was overwhelmed with how much feedback I got. Right now, it seems like I'll be forced to wear the necklace, but I'll be wearing my own selection of accessories with it. I am going to paint one of my duck earrings to look like the non-binary flag. Yuck. Not the asshole, these are as much your photos as your family's. Is there a way to fashion a brooch out of the necklace and maybe have it pinned somewhere so it's kinda visible but not a necklace? Not the asshole. Not at all. I think you should wear the duck earrings. If this is heart-shaped necklace as a tradition for the female members of the family, then that's not you. And it's okay if you're still an egg, the community is here to keep you safe and nurtured. Especially while you're developing into your true and undeniable form. If this is the hill you need to die on, stick to your guns. You're right, this photo will be up in their house for an incredibly long time. I graduated HS in 2009 and my senior photos are still up at my dad's house, mom's house, grandma's house and aunt's house. I'm turning 30. Don't let her pressure you into living with something you find intolerable. Are you going to get grief for not participating? Yes, and it sounds like a lot of grief. The only one who can decide if it's worth it is you. Not the asshole. Wear a nice shirt and no makeup with it. Is it a super feminine necklace? Wear the things that make you feel the most comfortable and let it be an eyesore on an otherwise perfectly handsome young man. If you want to, you can always lose the necklace before photos and miraculously find it back later. I'd hide it really good and wait a month. They'll never ask you to hold onto an idiotic heirloom again. I honestly can't fathom an adult woman being this upset about a senior photo. But I also can't really fathom a parent telling their kid they're not allowed to be NB, so. Anyways, not the asshole. Just don't wear it. It's not sabotage. You're allowed to wear what you like and accessorize as you see fit. It's just not my style is a reasonable reason. Also, 50 years old tradition isn't an heirloom. The simplest thing is to forget it in your locker when it's time to take the photo. Not the asshole. Wear a vest with a smart tie, and have the necklace dangle out of the breast pocket. And then come back to post about it on malicious compliance. Not the asshole, but I still think you could wear it as a symbol without it being girly. Maybe you can put it on a leather cord or turn it into more of a choker-style necklace. You don't have to, but you may regret it in 10, 25, 50 years. Maybe not, but what if you do?